The word for today, my friends, is health. Not just any kind of health. We're talking about moral health today. This is Howard Riell, Real Truth, 877-254-7524. The big shortage we've got in the Western world, in America in particular, is moral health. Now, I know a lot of people roll their eyes when you talk about stuff like this. Fine, roll your eyes if you wish. But I know that this is a vitally important part of our lives, and it's deficient. So we're going to talk about it today. Let's start with this item from the Economic Collapse blog. According to a brand new survey that was just conducted by the Pew Research Center, 77% of all Americans are either very worried or fairly worried about America's moral health. Of course, the truth is we should all be deeply concerned because we can see evidence of the cancerous moral decay that's eating away at the foundations of our society all around us. In life, each of us gets to make choices, and some of those choices can lead to very bad outcomes. We all have old friends who got on the wrong path and their lives ended up becoming cautionary tales. Well, same principle applies to nations as a whole. America has been given very clear choices between good and evil, life and death, blessings and curses over and over again, and we've consistently made the wrong choices. If we stay on this road, there's only one result that will be possible. As long as we're drawing breath, there's always an opportunity to turn things around. That's true for individuals, and it's also true for our entire nation. But if we continue running toward evil, it's only a matter of time before exceedingly painful consequences overtake us. The following 40 facts that prove America's moral collapse is spinning wildly out of control. Number 1, America has killed more than 60 million children since Roe v. Wade was decided in 1973. Number 2, according to a Quinnipiac University poll from last year, 63% of all Americans want to keep Roe v. Wade in place. Number 3, America is a global leader in sexual depravity. If you doubt this, check out what's going on in Cleveland at the end of this month. Now, right here, I'm going to jump to this link that they had in the article, and I'll tell you what's going on in Cleveland later this month. This comes from WorldNet Daily. I quote, "If you had plans to take your kids to downtown Cleveland over the weekend of April 25th to 28th, don't, unless you want them to receive a quick and nightmarish tutorial about where the LGBTQ agenda really takes America into a filthy sewer. That weekend, major Cleveland hotels will host Claw, the Cleveland Annual Leather Weekend. It's a large orgy of homosexual males focused on sadomasochism and bondage. Think ropes, chains, erotic asphyxiation, suspension by hooks, cutting, etc. Or maybe don't think about them, since these are usually considered reckless, stupid activities involving major risks of injury and disease committed by severely emotionally disturbed people. Unless, of course, you identify as LGBTQ. Then you get respect and can demand whatever you want in public accommodations, even if it's crazy, disgusting, or a public health nightmare. Which is why there's a petition to Cleveland officials to stop this outrage. If you have an interest in the Westin that weekend, the Westin Hotel, it's apparently full. Think about that. Packed with deviant males who'll be doing who knows what in their rooms. Sorry to offend, but it's important to understand what's going on here. The public sharing of bodily fluids of promiscuous people who also regularly engage in anatomically invasive sex practices. So in the meeting rooms of the Westin, Hampton Inn, Cleveland, Marriott, etc., there will be activities and quote-unquote workshops, aka orgies, involving blood, feces, urine, semen, and when people realize what they're doing, possibly vomit. Several days later, you might be attending a corporate luncheon in the same room, and the Cleveland Department of Health is apparently okay with this. But a subset of homosexual males loves these practices as a way to express, quote, sexual orientation. And so Cleveland officials just let these deviants take over the city. Isn't it obvious that the LGBTQ community rules this country? And the Equality Act in Congress will only bring more such barbaric perversion to America's public accommodations, unquote. Number 4, Americans are now more likely to die from an opioid overdose than they are from a car accident. 5. In the city of Baltimore, approximately 1 out of every 4 babies is born as an opioid addict. Number 6, overdosing on drugs has now become the leading cause of death for Americans under the age of 50. Number 7, McDonald's feeds approximately 70 million people a day globally. Pornhub gets more than 78 million visits a day. 8, the teen birth rate in the United States is higher than in any other industrialized country in the world. Number 9, according to the CDC, approximately 110 million Americans have a sexually transmitted disease right now. Number 10, the CDC also tells us there are approximately 20 million new sexually transmitted disease cases in the U.S. every single year. Number 11, the number of married couples with children in the U.S. just reached a 56-year low. Number 12, according to the United Nations Population Fund, 40% of all births in the U.S. now happen outside of marriage. If you go back to 1970, that figure was sitting at around 10%. Number 13, at this point, approximately 1 out of every 3 children in the U.S. lives in a home without a father. 14, approximately 1/4 of the entire global prison population is in the United States. 15, by the time an American child reaches the age of 18, that child will have seen approximately 40,000 murders on television. Number 16, according to a study conducted by the Mayo Clinic, nearly 70% of all Americans are on at least one prescription drug. An astounding 20% of all Americans are on at least 5 prescription drugs. 17, according to the Centers for Disease Control and Prevention, doctors in the U.S. write more than 250 million prescriptions for antidepressants each year. Folks, we're going to stop here because we're about to take a break. 250 million prescriptions for antidepressants. That alone is enough to depress you. We're only partway through the list, less than halfway, and already we're getting a picture of an America in desperate need of help. This is Real Truth. We'll be right back.
Staring out the window, daydreaming about spring in your lush green yard and backyard barbecues? Well, don't blink. Before you know it, you'll be knee-high in grass. Don't let the HOA come pounding on your door. Don't be that guy. Call Turf Tamers Landscaping at 970-460-TURF or visit our website at turftamerslandscaping.com, and we will get your yard in tip-top shape. Specializing in maintenance and install of commercial and residential properties, we pride ourselves in our clean-cut and approachable crew to work efficiently and quickly detailing your property. Visit our website at turftamerslandscaping.com. Our install crew can transform your backyard into the outdoor living space you've always dreamed of. Call me, Brian, at 970-460-TURF for a free walkthrough and estimate where we can meet and discuss the best options for your landscaping needs. Family-owned and locally operated, we've been serving Northern Colorado for over 18 years. Thank you for your support and supporting KHNC.
Before hiring a realtor from a big corporation who outsources their jobs and pays little to no taxes, ask yourself, what do you really want in a realtor? You need a realtor who is honest and has integrity, a realtor who is focused on the client's bottom line, not the realtor's bottom line, who provides personable, over-the-top service before, during, and after the transaction. You want a realtor that knows how to market your property. Hi, I'm James Morgan, a realtor with Grisham & Associates, LLC. I am your Colorado real estate specialist. Land deals, mountain cabins, or urban dwellings, I've got you covered. For the first-time home buyer, we will make it the best experience. If you are looking to move up or downsizing, we will do better than your last transaction. Call me today at 720-203-0731 or visit coloradoproperties.online. Let me do a great job for you.
Okay, we're back. Howard Riell, Real Truth, 877-254-7524. I'm spending the first half of today's show on moral health because we're lacking a whole bunch of it here in the United States. Across the West, really, but I'm concerned with America, right here where we live. Morally, we've gone into a toilet. And if you and I together can help reverse that even just a little bit, then we've accomplished something really good. I'm going through a piece on the Economic Collapse blog. You can find it there today if you go there. I recommend it. So these are different signs that America is descending into the depths of moral depravity. And we really are. Number 17. According to the Centers for Disease Control and Prevention, 250 million prescriptions for antidepressants each year. All right. Number 18. Over 500,000 people are homeless in the U.S. right now. But more cities than ever are passing laws making it illegal to feed them. 19. One recent study found the average American spends 86 hours a month on a cell phone. Number 20. A different study found 1/3 of all American teenagers have not read a single book in the past year. My friends, if your teenagers aren't reading books, it's shameful and shocking. Get yourself a copy of Real Truth, Stay Angry. You'll find it online. Give it to your teenager, and they will straighten up. 21. Americans are obsessed with material things and are willing to go into deep debt to get what they want. At this point, 480 million credit cards are in circulation in this country. That number has risen by 13% since 2015. Number 22. 37 million credit card accounts in the U.S. are seriously delinquent at this moment. 23. According to a study conducted by the Centers for Disease Control, approximately 2/3 of all Americans in the 15 to 24-year-old age bracket have engaged in oral sex. 24. It's been reported 1 out of every 14 girls in the U.S. has at least one sexually transmitted disease. Stop. That one strikes home because I've got 2 daughters. I'm going to say it again. It's been reported 1 out of every 4 teenage girls, 1 out of 4, has at least one sexually transmitted disease. My friends, in large measure, not all of us obviously, but in large measure, American parents are raising sluts. Sorry if that sounds harsh. Look at the way 11 and 12-year-old girls are dressing these days. Go to a mall. Look at 11 and 12-year-old girls walking hand in hand with boys. They're not ready for relationships at that age. And it's obscene to allow them to be in relationships at that age. I've said it a bazillion times on this show. We live in a hypersexualized culture. The media gives out the message that if you're not having wild, abandoned sex every single day, you're nothing and nowhere. And teenagers, even young teenagers, pick up on this garbage. And they want to be cool, right? What more do you want in life at that age than to be cool? And so they do what they think is going to make them cool. Next thing you know, they got an STD and or a baby bump, and there goes their lives. Number 25, it has been estimated 30% of all internet traffic now goes to adult websites. Number 26, according to the Pentagon, 71% of our young adults are ineligible to serve in the United States military because they're either too dumb, too fat, or have a criminal background. 27, the city of San Francisco handed out a total of 5.8 million free syringes to drug addicts in 2018. 28, during one 7-day stretch last summer, a total of 16,000 official complaints were submitted to the city of San Francisco about piles of human feces littering the streets. 29, when you include unfunded liabilities, the true size of our national debt is $222 trillion. What we're doing to future generations of Americans is beyond criminal. 30, the suicide rate in the United States is up 34% since the year 2000. 31, suicide is now the leading cause of death for Americans aged 15 to 24. 32, we are literally destroying the planet we've been given. It's being projected the total amount of plastic in the oceans of the world will exceed the total weight of all fish by the year 2050. Number 33, there are more than 850,000 registered sex offenders in the U.S. today. 34, the number of American babies killed by abortion each year is roughly equal to the number of U.S. military deaths that have occurred in all the wars the United States has ever been involved in combined. 35, about one-third of all American women will have had an abortion by the age of 45. 36, approximately 3,000 Americans lost their lives as a result of the destruction of the World Trade Center towers on 9/11. Every single day, more than 3,000 American babies are killed by abortion when you include all forms of abortion. 37, one very shocking study found that 86% of all abortions are done for the sake of convenience. 38, an average of more than 100 churches are dying in the United States every single week. Number 39, only about 27% of all U.S. millennials currently attend church on a regular basis. And finally, number 40, the number of Americans with no religion has increased by 266% over the last 3 decades. Those are sad numbers, my friends. Now, I have no desire to sit here on this radio station and lecture to you, but by God, someone's got to. If you go to a church or a synagogue, then hopefully you're getting some moral leadership, some moral instruction there. Most people don't do that. Most people listen to what they hear on TV and on the radio. Well, okay. If you're listening to me on the radio today or on the internet, don't forget I always post my show on Facebook and YouTube. Then just look at the facts. If you don't want my opinions, good. Look at the facts. Teenagers, young teenagers, STDs, pregnancies, anxiety, suicide. We are demolishing our young generations. And we need to change. If we don't change, nothing will change around us. Nothing will get better. Here's Glenn Beck to talk to us about why experts say adolescent suicides have doubled. Listen to this.
The number of children and teens in the United States who visit an emergency room
Yeah, he's right, and I'll tell you why. Kids 12, 13, 14, they're not thinking about making a living. I didn't think about making a living until I was 20. That's my own issue to deal with. Kids are raised today, and in the last generation too, like snowflakes, where absolutely nothing that will raise their eyebrows is allowed to happen to them. The cold, harsh world is filtered. They live in a gauzy little cocoon where everything is nice, and they go to campuses, and that's what the campus culture is like. We are raising kids who are unable to deal with reality, and that is why suicide rates are horrifyingly high and growing. Kids need to be allowed to scuffle, to fall down and scrape their knees. They need to be told about unpleasant realities because they need to learn how to deal with them. If you shelter kids from everything under the sun, you get this. Kids who are faced with turbulent emotions cannot cope. They've never learned how to cope, and so they commit suicide, God forbid. Look. Yeah, well, I'll tell you what. And I've got a piece on this later in the show. If you are a boy growing up in America today, you got problems. You've got real problems. Because if you act like a boy, you will be slammed for toxic masculinity. If you are a boy, you will turn on the television or go see a movie, and you will see men portrayed as weak, as feminized. And you'll see women just the opposite, women acting like men. You know what? The greatest disgrace, and this goes back over 20 years. Turn on any TV commercial and watch it. The dad in the commercial, if you've got a family there, the dad is always befuddled. He's the clown. He's a doofus. People make fun of him. It's the mom and the kids who are sharp. The dad is a fool. With all this talk in the media about women's independence and women's rights and women's strength, I've got nothing against any of that stuff. I told you I've got 2 daughters and I raised them to be strong and independent, but I don't need it rubbed on my eyeballs every time I turn on the television. The definite anti-boy, anti-male message is put out there every single day. Kids are sensitive. They pick up on it. They see it. They adjust their behavior accordingly. It's compounded in school, which are liberal institutions. So yes, boys, unfortunately, tragically, are in the crosshairs in America today.
I think when I was a kid, I would be coffee all the time.
All right, guys, we're about to hit a commercial break. If you have kids, check their phones. If they won't let you check their phones, you know that you need to take away their phones. I mean, permanently. Look and see where they've been going, what they've been downloading, what websites they've been visiting, who they've been calling, who they've been texting, what they've been receiving as far as texts. Get to know your kids' phones up close and personal, and check them every day or two. If the kids have something to hide, it's a reason. And it means you're being a lousy parent. Lousy parents let their kids do whatever they want, and you're hearing about what results. Good parents snoop. They know what the kids are up to, what they're getting into. Snoop. It's the only way to help your kid on a lot of occasions. Take a break. More Real Truth to come. Stick around.
Tax season, traffic, bills, or just plain cabin fever. Come fly fish the North Platte River with Trout Tamers Outfitter. Hi, Brian here with Trout Tamers Outfitter, 970-460-8873, or visit our website at trouttamers.com. Servicing the whole North Platte River from Northgate Canyon to Casper. Some target the aggressive rainbows this spring while floating the Gray Reef section of the river. It's 4 hours north of Denver and 1 hour west of Casper. Book a trip at trouttamers.com or call us at 970-460-8877. Very beginner friendly, approximately 8 hours on a drift boat floating down the scenic North Platte River. Prices include in-season fly, all gear, lunches for 2 anglers. Call about discounts for beds and soaking at sea.
Before hiring a realtor from a big corporation who outsources their jobs that pays little to no taxes, ask yourself, what do you really want in a realtor? You need a realtor who is honest and has integrity, a realtor who is focused on the client's bottom line, not the realtor's bottom line, who provides personable, over-the-top service before, during, and after the transaction. You want a realtor that knows how to market your property. Hi, I'm James Morgan, a realtor with Grisham & Associates, LLC. I am your Colorado real estate specialist. Land deals, mountain cabins, or urban dwellings, I've got you covered. For the first-time home buyer, we will make it the best experience. If you are looking to move up or downsizing, we will do better than your last transaction. Call me today at 720-203-0731 or visit coloradoproperties.online. Let me do a great job for you.
Grandpa's Pawn and Gun. We are a family-owned and operated business. We run a gun store, pawn shop in Longmont, Colorado, and have served the Front Range for nearly 25 years. Currently, we have over 400 guns for sale in our 4,200 square foot building. Grandpa's Pawn and Gun, according to Alcohol, Tobacco, and Firearms, is one of the state's highest volume gun dealers. We are also the busiest pawn shop in Longmont, and we offer the lowest interest rates on your loans in northern Colorado. Seriously, why would you pawn your valuables anywhere else? We've sold over 45,000 guns since 1999, so if you are into those old Colts and Winchesters or new Glocks and H&Ks, we'll take good care of you. People you can trust and a pawn shop you can trust. That's Grandpa's Pawn and Gun, 303-772-7952. That's 303-772-7952.
All right, guys, welcome back to Real Truth, 877-254-7524 if you want to call in. I was just talking about the all-out assault on America's boys. Here's more evidence of it from the End of the American Dream blog. I'm quoting. As a society, we appear to be really dropping the ball because the numbers indicate American boys are deeply struggling in just about every area. Many professionals are pointing to a crisis of fatherhood, one of the key factors. And I pointed out the other day, approximately a third of all U.S. children are now being raised in a home without a father. Of course, this negatively affects our girls as well, but there's something about the lack of a masculine role model that seems to particularly hurt boys. However, the lack of a traditional family structure cannot explain all the numbers I'm about to share with you. As you'll see, we're facing a crisis that will not easily be solved. William Farrell, the co-author of a new book entitled The Boy Crisis, Why Our Boys Are Struggling and What We Can Do About It, has identified 3 key areas that he's most concerned about. The first is education. Worldwide, 60% of the students who achieve less than the baseline level of proficiency in any of the 3 core subjects of the program for the international assessment are boys. Even boys' IQs are dropping. Today, girls are educationally outperforming boys in elementary school, middle school, and high school. And by the time college rolls around, the performance gap is absolutely enormous. In fact, females have earned at least 57% of all bachelor's degrees in the U.S. for 18 years in a row. It is shocking what the liberals among us are doing to boys. It's as if we live in an age of payback. If you're a male, young or old, you're going to get it because males have, of course, dominated the planet. If you're white, you're going to get it because you've been holding down black and brown and red people, yellow people. If you're wealthy, you're going to get it now because we're going to go to socialism and you're going to be poor, and on and on and on. It's a sick, melange of emotions that certainly are not going to accomplish anything worthy. And that's where we are right now. All right, let's go to a video of, let's see. Here's Dick Morris talking about why it's important to seal the border right now and why Donald Trump is right to want to seal the border. And this is related to what we've been discussing. Here we go. That's actually wrong. That is not the only way. There are several ways which I have outlined on this show. Taxing the money that the immigrants send back to their native countries. Fining the hell out of employers who hire illegals. And then shooting people as they come across our border. And I'm not talking about shooting children. But I'm here to tell you, you shoot one or two people, the rest will scatter. They won't come anywhere near our border. And let's face it, lives are being lost as a result of illegal immigration. Our society is being trashed as a result of illegal immigration, as a result of gangs coming over the border, drugs coming over the border, human trafficking, who knows who from the Middle East coming over the border undetected. So yeah, I think it warrants a little bloodshed at the border to get this crisis under control. That's how adults think.
We have to understand.
right, guys, I'm going to put this video up on my Facebook page, Real Truth Radio. I put the last video, the Glenn Beck video, up there also. Finish watching this in its entirety. We've got to seal the border, and I mean we've got to. Failure is not an option. And if it means hurting some people who are breaking our laws, then that's simply what we're going to have to do. I hope it doesn't come to that, but our border must be secure. It must be. Or you can't be serious about saying that you're a country. Take a commercial break and we'll be back with more Real Truth.
I'm Ryan with EMF Mitigators. You worried about 5G wireless cell towers in your area? Would you like to know if your home or office is being penetrated by electromagnetic fields from overhead power lines? What about powerful signals sent from your smart meter? EMF Mitigators can answer these questions with our state-of-the-art measuring equipment. We are in the business of measuring, locating, and reducing or eliminating man-made electromagnetic frequencies. In 2011, the International Agency for Research on Cancer classified radio frequency radiation as a Group 2B carcinogen. Other carcinogens in this group include arsenic, lead, and melanin. Take control of your exposure by calling EMF Mitigators at 970-300-3414. Mention that you heard about us on KHNC 1360. We'll come to measure your home or office for only $99. Discover what may be affecting you in your own environment. Call EMF Mitigators today at 970-300-3414 or reach us 24 hours a day at emfmitigators.com.
Was your home built between 1965 and 1975? If so, you may have an aluminum wired home. Aluminum wiring can be hazardous. These homes are around 50 years old now and using more electrical power than ever imagined back in the day. An aluminum wire does not get better with time. They are much harder to insure and harder to sell as well. Aluminum wire repair are electricians focused on the permanent mitigation of the aluminum wire hazard. Call them for a free inspection now. Aluminum wire repair, 720-299-4706. Or visit their website at alwirerepair.com. Don't walk away from a home you're planning on buying just because it has aluminum wire. Let them help you. Your safety is their business. They are A+ rated with the Better Business Bureau. Call them today, 720-299-4706, or visit their website, alwirerepair.com.
All right, guys, welcome back. A lot of the damage being done to Americans, especially young Americans, comes through the media. Here's Laura Ingraham from Fox News talking about when losers act like winners, and the only time they can do that is when they are portrayed as such in the media. Here's Laura Ingraham.
Now, this is an interesting
Yeah, let's be clear, Stacy. You have a right to exercise your constitutionally guaranteed right to stay away from the refrigerator once in a while.
This is not a speech of concern.
My friends, look, I don't care that this woman is obese and disgusting looking. I don't care. I don't care that she has no class and no grace and refused to concede an election she clearly lost. I care about the fact that, by definition, as a Democrat, she wants to go with policies that don't work. Policies that damage America, damage the economy, damage our social structure. Her policies suck. And that's why no one should ever vote for Stacey Abrams for anything. Well, hang on a second, Beto. It's either your opinion or it's without a shadow of a doubt, which means it's a fact. Which is it? It's either your opinion or it's fact. Sorry, Beto, I didn't mean to inject any clarity of thought. So, for 2 years of investigation, 2 years of leaks, no one has been able to find one single grain of collusion between Donald Trump and the Russians. But the hell with that. Beto O'Rourke says there was. So is there a problem? Is there something broken in his brain that he's not able to grasp reality? Or, much more likely, as a Democrat and a liberal, does he simply not care about reality? He's pushing the narrative that he thinks will end up in his pocket, in his wallet. He's pushing the narrative hoping that you people out there are stupid enough simply to believe the lies he's telling. So which is it? Has he got something broken in his brain, or is he simply a liar? Beto O'Rourke, the heartthrob of the Democrat Party.
Yeah, that was Saturday. Cuckoo for Cocoa Puffs. All right, good luck advancing the collusion narrative now, Robert Francis. All right, and our last loser?
Yeah, his name is Robert Francis. It's not Beto. Anyway, he and Stacey Abrams and this guy Gillum in Florida, they are all indicative of the kind of losers that the Democrat Party attracts and puts forward as elected officials, or hopefully elected officials. The whole party is diseased, morally, philosophically. And the sooner we expunge them, the better off we will all be. Let's take a break, and we'll be back, and we'll finish up.
Grandpa's Pawn and serving Longmont and the Front Range of Colorado since 1994. We specialize in guns and currently have over 400 guns for sale. We also buy, sell, pawn, and trade for gold, silver, musical instruments, knives, archery equipment, quads, side-by-side, coins, and a lot more. We buy gun collections and do appraisals, which is smart for insurance purposes should a claim arise. We are, according to ATF, Colorado's second highest volume gun dealer, and because we have a lot lower overhead than the big box stores, we can beat the big box stores by as much as $100 per gun. And we have the lowest interest rates in northern Colorado, half of what the corporate stores charge when you're doing a loan. Come and see us at Grandpa's Pawn and Gun. If you love guns, if you love gold, come and see us. Check us out on the web, www.grandpaspawn.com or 303-772-7952.
Ladies and gentlemen, Mr. Tom Phillips. No one in America does what we do. Our health and nutrition profile is a free 1-hour interview with one of our counselors. We look at what you eat, what you drink, exercise, medication, environment you work in, food you crave, present health you have, history, your family history. Everything that makes you a unique person. No one is exactly like you. Then we will suggest some food change. Maybe you should add something to your diet. Maybe you should eliminate something from your diet. Then we suggest green earth products to supplement your diet. We usually suggest between 2 and 5 things. 60 capsules cost $17.50, but remember, you're not obligated to purchase anything. Call us at 888-765-HERB. That's 888-765-4372 to set your no obligation appointment.
Item from the Economic Collapse blog. The medical community knew that a day of reckoning was coming. For years, they were repeatedly warned that the rampant overuse of certain types of medications would result in the development of quote-unquote super diseases that we would not be able to stop, and now that day has arrived. Just like many types of bacteria, fungi have also been developing defenses against our most effective modern medicine. One in particular, a fungus known as Candida auris, is now a massive public health threat. An expert quoted by the New York Times has admitted that it's, quote, pretty much unbeatable. It spreads very easily. It spreads very easily and kills close to 50% of the people it infects. In other words, we are now in the early chapters of a medical horror show of our own making, and there's no way out. My friends, go online and research it. Candida auris, A-U-R-I-S. Get to know it. It might just save your life. Item from Breitbart. Instead of calling for a border wall that would protect them from rock-wielding illegal migrants, Univision anchor Enrique Acevedo believes border agents should just duck. Unquote. My friends, Univision is a creation of Mexico. Mexico media. They don't want what's good for America. They want what's good for Mexico. They want people coming here and sending money back to Mexico. Well, you can't really call it treason because they're from another country, but certainly they are not friends of America. What do you say we lift their license to broadcast in this country? Item from Breitbart. Encouraging a child to identify with a gender other than their biological sex is a form of child abuse, says Walt Heyer, a man who identified as a woman for 8 years. Heyer said when he was a small boy, his grandmother gave him a purple chiffon dress and told him how beautiful he looked in it, which led him down a path of confusion about who he was. That is child abuse, Mr. Heyer said during a panel discussion at the Heritage Foundation last Thursday. We need to be calling it what it is. It's not affirming a child. It's causing them to be depressed and anxious about who they are. Unquote. Item from Breitbart. Hillary Clinton's 2016 campaign manager, John Podesta, played a central role in another potential Russian collusion scandal that has not yet been investigated. Podesta, the former chief of staff to President Bill Clinton, served on the board of Joule Unlimited, a now-defunct alternative energy company, from January 2011 to January 2014. He resigned from the company's board to accept a powerful job of counselor to President Barack Obama. Unquote. My friends, Podesta is one of those Democrats who needs to be investigated. Item from Breitbart. Peter Schweitzer, president of the Government Accountability Institute and senior editor-at-large at Breitbart News, recalled how Hunter Biden, Joe Biden's son, received millions of dollars from Ukrainian energy company Burisma Holdings, while his father directed $1.8 billion in aid money to Ukraine as vice president during the Obama administration. My friends, we talked at length last week about the scandal involving Biden and his son and China. Well, it appears there's also a scandal involving, you guessed it, Russian collusion. Now, what do you say we stop playing games, stop the witch hunt, and actually look for those among us in power who have truly colluded with Russia to the defeat, economically at least, of the United States, to the detriment of our country. There has been Russian collusion. Look at Hillary, look at Biden, look at the Clinton Foundation. It's there. If you look for it, you'll find it. Instead of spending tens of millions of dollars in over 2 years on a nonsensical witch hunt, let's find the real people working against this country and let's put them in jail. I will see you tomorrow with more Real Truth. Hasta luego.